another team that I think I want to spend a little bit of time on this. So let's spend a little bit of time on this. But how much are we going to panic? How much of Milwaukee panic about the Bucks?
It's just it's bad. They I know they're without Chris Middleton right now, but that could be permanent with the way his health is. Uh, I'm pretty much in the same spot that you are with the Pacers with them. DEFCON 3, close to DEFCON 2 with the Milwaukee Bucks because it's just really bad. Like they're losing not just against good teams, they're losing to bad teams. First game of the season, they go out and beat the 76ers who were without Paul George and without Joel Embiid. And everyone's kind of like, okay, ooh, Dame and Giannis, they actually look pretty good here. They combined for 55 points, 23 boards, 13 assists. Dame goes 6 to 12. Giannis is 8 of 11. Oh, this is what we were going to get. This is what we're going to get all year. Oh, the Bucks are back. The Bucks are back. Then they lose to the Bulls. They let Vooch, Kobe White, and Levine combine for 82 points. Then they lose to the Nets. Like, come on, you can't be losing to the Nets. They let the fucking Dennis Schroeder and and Cam Thomas just absolutely destroy them. I didn't know they were the greatest backcourt in the entire NBA.
Listen. Dennis Schroeder is Allen Iverson in the Olympics, and if he could just like channel a little bit of that night in, night out, then I'm not too shocked. But it's insane, and I have something specific on that though. You named a few guys, and to continue, I don't know if you're going to mention Pritchard as well. Lit him up for
Hmm.
28 points. Who dropped all these points on him? Schroeder and Cam Thomas, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Peyton Pritchard. Their perimeter scorers, the opposing teams, just go off. Why? If you watch the games, these are not anomalous shots. These are not, crazy, contested shots. And, all right, you just tip your cap. They shot really well. These are wide open shots. These are very easy looks. And you go into Boston after losing to the Bulls and the Nets and giving up those many points to those guards, specifically from beyond the arc, you're going to go up against the best 3-point shooting team in the league, the best corner 3-point shooting team in the league. And you lose not because, just effort, or just these intangible things of like, we weren't trying, we're not locked in, we need to find our identity. No, like, no, a lot of it's game plan. Why are you helping off the corners? Like what why are you allowing Peyton Pritchard to be wide open? Why are you allowing Kobe White to be wide open? Why are you allowing, you know, Cam Thomas to just have free reign? Like these guys are all gonna feast on a defense that has no real perimeter defenders. And it's the same theme as last year. Dame is just being like put in every single screening action. If you watch like just watch Dame on defense every time, the ball's going to his guy every single time. And in the open, the worst part about this too is not only is Dame getting attacked there, um, in the open court, no one's picking up. Like it's the same theme as last year. Like it doesn't matter. Doc Rivers, that didn't get fixed. Clearly, all these talks about like them coming up with this new defensive identity scheme, like where? Because it's not showing up. Didn't show up preseason, not showing up now. And yes, it's highlighted by the Celtics loss, but we're also talking about the Bulls and Nets. You
Yeah.
guys should be 2 tiers ahead of them. Like those should have been you bank those wins, easy dubs, and you worry about the rest of the schedule, which is going to be real tough, by the way. And I'm debating, I might be with you, like DEFCON 3, might be shopping, but I mean, you got too much talent on this roster. You got Giannis Antetokounmpo, you have Damian Lillard. Same discussions last year. It shouldn't be here, but maybe this is just the best that they can do with what they have because it doesn't feel like a championship roster at all.
Yeah, I mean it's getting weird. Like they should be 3-1, but instead they're 1-3. That's just the case for the start of the season. Yes, we're only 4 games in, but let's not forget they are now 19 and 23 since Doc Rivers took over.
Hmm.
Like that's really bad. And everyone was like, okay, he's gonna have a full off season, full preseason to really get his message across. The team's gonna be a lot better. And then they start the season 1-3, losing to two teams that we fully believe. One of them is absolutely tanking, and another one is kind of in the middle between tanking and somewhat the playing positions of what we're expecting. And they lose to both those teams. Things are getting worrisome. At this very moment, it feels like they could go the way of the Brooklyn Nets in 2022, 2023, where they blow it up at the trade deadline.
Whoa. Oh, that's DEFCON like, bro, that's nuclear missiles are armed and ready to go and
Maybe
we're
that's
we're
a slight overreaction right now, but
Yeah, that is. That is.
you can see that down the line.
Yeah.
It is not crazy to see that happening.
No, no, no. I feel that. Maybe we're like a year pre-Cuban Missile Crisis and we're kind of like what's going on and it feels like a it's not crazy to think that that is how this could go. And I say that not just because of the fact that they're losing or the things you see on the court, but I say that because it's a continuity of failed schemes defensively that are the same stuff, and you see them consistently not communicate on defense and not rotate quick enough, and just not really. There's just no sense of defensive identity. And Giannis even said that himself after the Brooklyn loss. So it's not inconceivable to think about how lost they feel on the defensive end and even on the offensive end. Like a lot of this is that doesn't feel crisp. A lot of times they're getting into their actions late. They're getting into it, and not everyone's spaced at the right time when David. And it's that same timing thing last year when it was like, okay, Dame, they're not getting into the action because they're just getting used to each other. Why does it still feel that way? Why do you still see that? And Giannis is that good, Dame is that good, where they're still going to score off of that, but it still doesn't feel like good offense. It feels like great players and opportunistic scoring, as opposed to that they've created some system around them. It doesn't feel like that yet. So why, after a year, is that not like that? After we touted them in preseason last year as the strongest duo, the most inevitable duo in the league, and that has just fallen so short. So maybe we are closer to that than we think, because the way they continue to react to these losses will be a big predictor of what the mood will be like at the trade deadline. I don't think it's going to go that way because that's a little bit dramatic, but it's a fear. And it's always been a fear of, hey, like, you got to make Giannis happy. He wants to win championships. He doesn't just want one. So
Don't worry, they'll fire Doc Rivers and Darvin Ham to take over, and that will really turn things up then.
the I don't know what they got to do, man. But Doc, uh, yeah, the defense looks stuck in the past. The offense isn't crisp. Do you blame the players? Do you blame the coach? Blame everybody? Who do you blame? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, everyone can point the finger at each other. I think there's kind of a everyone can take a pretty decent share of the blame here. It's just a question of can this work and how long does it take till we just say they had to try this with Dame and Giannis. They had to try this big sweep to try and get that championship window extended, and it just so far it's just not working. Whether
Yeah.
it doesn't work, full stop, that remains to be seen.
And the last point I want to make with the Bucks is we don't talk about their talent issue. We love to talk about it with the Lakers. We love to crap on the Lakers. Like, look, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. Why aren't they going after this guy? Look at their roster. How many non-NBA guys do they have? Those non-NBA guys actually look kind of decent to start the season. Is that coaching? Is that scheme? Is that player development? We'll talk about the Lakers in a minute, but kudos to them because I don't really feel like talking about it because it's not really an issue right now. The Bucks, it's been an issue for a minute, and we haven't really talked about it, to be honest. I'll hold myself accountable for that. But how many non-NBA players do they currently have on their roster? I'm not gonna throw out too many names, but a lot of guys getting minutes that would not be getting minutes anywhere else. And God forbid they have an open roster spot. I think I would be completely done with the Bucks. Completely done. If they sign Thanasis Antetokounmpo, who is not going to play this year because of his Achilles. Like, I can't imagine they would do that, but if they did, that would just be the sign of the rot that has taken over this team. There's just no way. But I discussed that. I want to discuss that real quick just because is there anybody we imagine? Like, is there a Markel Fultz, a Dennis Smith Jr.? Is there somebody that you pick up that can energize his defense, that can bring a little bit more dynamic playmaking from the perimeter, that can do something? You know, be a playmaker on defense. Really bring it. Because the only guy who really does that is Andre Jackson Jr., who can't score the basketball. And great effort, but is he an NBA player? I don't know. It doesn't look like it. Maybe he's not that way because of the Bucks. But that being said, who else? Like Tyler Smith, AJ. I mean, AJ's too young. Champ. I mean, they might even trade Pat Connaughton. I mean, he just hasn't done anything meaningful the past 3 years. It feels like. But all this in a long tirade to talk about one of the premier NBA teams. Like Giannis Antetokounmpo is a megastar in this league, and when you watch him play, it feels like the vibe has changed, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it feels like that. Now it feels like it wasn't a joke when he kind of made that little remark about getting traded at the end of the season. Now watching this early season and just watching him generally, it doesn't feel like that was a joke. That was very much felt like a threat. That was a statement that is probably going to happen.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't feel fun. It doesn't feel fun. The vibes are off, and we'll have to monitor it. Um, but man, if that is where it goes, like that would be talking about the trade rumors they've dealt with, the blowing up rumors that they've dealt with in the past. This would be the worst that they've ever dealt with. The way the league is now.